At a holiday party, I said can't wait for the reunion tomorrow. My brother laughed, that was yesterday. My aunt showed me photos of everyone there. I left without a word, and they would soon regret it. Hey everyone. Before we kick off today's video, I've got a favor to ask. We've noticed our channel isn't getting as much love lately, and subscribing is one of the easiest ways you can help us out. It's quick, free, and it means we can keep bringing you awesome content. Your support really means a lot, so let's work together to keep this channel growing. Thanks a bunch. Now, let's dive into the video. Hey, I'm Rachel. So, I've always kind of felt like the oddball in my family. Not because I did anything wrong, but apparently, my successes somehow turned me into the enemy. I grew up in a middle-class family where money was tight, but I hustled and worked my butt off to make something out of my life. Scored a scholarship to an awesome college, landed a cushy finance job, and now, at 32, I'm living pretty comfortably. Not rolling in millions, but hey, I've got my own house, travel whenever the mood strikes, and up until lately, I was helping my family out with some cash every month. Never expected a thank you, but I sure didn't see their betrayal coming either. Looking back, the signs were there. My mom always doted on my brother Mark, the golden child. He could hop from job to job, never really owning up to anything, but somehow he was always just trying his best. Meanwhile, I was too focused on my career or supposedly acting like I was better than them. My sister Lisa wasn't much better. She was the queen of passive-aggressive remarks, constantly reminding me that money can't buy happiness while conveniently cashing the checks I sent when she was behind on rent. And my dad? He just went with the flow, never standing up for me or calling out the blatant favoritism. Still, I tried. Every holiday, I came home with gifts. Every family dinner, I picked up the tab. Anytime they needed a hand, I was there, hoping that maybe, just maybe, they'd finally accept me. Instead, they decided to give me a clear message about where I stood with them. It all blew up at this holiday get-together at my parents' place. We were chowing down on my mom's signature overcooked turkey when I casually mentioned I was excited for the reunion the next day. That's when Mark chuckled, "What reunion? It was yesterday." I was like, "Wait, what?" And Lisa just sat there smirking with her wine, saying, "Didn't Mom tell you?" I turned to my mom, feeling my heart race. "You told me it was on the 23rd. She just shrugged, like it was no big deal. Oops, must have mixed up the dates. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't some distant relative they forgot about, I was their daughter, their sister. They had a whole reunion without me. My aunt casually showed me a picture on her phone. Everyone was there, cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, Mark, Lisa, my parents. All laughing and smiling while I was completely in the dark. Mark grinned, awkward. "Guess we forgot to mention it," Lisa giggled, "Oops, my bad. LOL. Something inside me went cold. I put down my fork, stood up, and just walked away. No yelling, no tears. I didn't slam the door, I didn't give them the satisfaction of seeing me lose it. I just grabbed my coat and stepped outside into the biting cold to process what had just gone down. They all knew. They all looked me in the eye, smiled, and let me sit there like a fool. I checked my phone, nothing. No missed calls, no texts, not even a half-hearted wish you were here message. I felt this dull ache but shoved it down. I've been pretending for years that their treatment didn't bug me, but this was different. This was deliberate, a clear message. I considered just jumping in my car and leaving, cutting them out for good, but I didn't. I wanted to see how far they'd go with this. After a few minutes, I took a deep breath and headed back inside. The laughter continued like nothing happened. I hung up my coat and went back to the dining room. They barely acknowledged me. My mom was slicing pie, my dad refilling his wine, Mark and Lisa whispering and grinning. I pulled out my chair and sat down. Lisa raised an eyebrow. "Thought you left." I met her gaze, keeping my face unreadable. "Why would I leave? It's just a silly mistake, right?" She gave me this knowing smile. "Of course, just a little mix-up." Mark snickered, "You're taking this way too seriously. It's not like we did it on purpose." I leaned back, looking around at them. You all had an entire family reunion. Everyone had to coordinate food, drinks, decorations. Someone organized a venue, set a date, sent invites. But not one of you remembered to text me? I tilted my head. "You expect me to believe that?" My mom sighed like I was being the difficult one. "Rachel, don't be like this. It's the holidays, let's not ruin the mood over a simple mistake." "A simple mistake?" I looked around the table, seeing them avoid my eyes, expecting me to just brush it off as always. But this time, I wasn't going to let it slide. So, there I was, doing my usual thing, pretending I wasn't hurt. But this time, I was done with that. I picked up my fork, twirling it around my fingers like it was no big deal. I said, trying to keep it light, I've been thinking about all that money I send you guys every month. That got everyone's attention. Lisa sat up straighter, my mom had a bit of a deer in the headlights look, and my dad finally lifted his head from his plate. Mark, ever the skeptic, chimed in with a suspicious, "What about it?" I gently set my fork down and laid it out plainly. Well, it's just interesting how I help pay Lisa's rent when she's short, cover mom and dad's medical bills, and even send some cash to Mark for whatever he's up to these days. I let that sink in a bit before adding, and yet, somehow, I wasn't important enough to get an invite to the family reunion. The room went dead quiet. Lisa tried to laugh it off, but it came out all nervous. "Oh, come on, you're not really mad about that, are you?" she asked. I didn't answer, but Mark, being Mark, scoffed, saying, "You're being ridiculous. It was just a mix-up, Rachel. You don't really need the reunion anyway. You've got your fancy job, nice house, and perfect life." There it was again, the jealousy and resentment that had been brewing for ages, cleverly cloaked in so-called jokes and backhanded compliments. I smiled, but it was icy. "You're right, Mark. I do have a great life," I replied. Lisa shot me a warning look. "Rachel, don't be petty." I couldn't help but chuckle softly. "Petty, like holding a whole family reunion and forgetting to invite me?" Silence. Mark rolled his eyes, clearly annoyed. "Oh my God, you're so dramatic. Always playing the victim," he said, as he stuffed more food in his mouth and shook his head. "You'll just get over it, like always." Watching him chew with that smirk like he'd won, like they all had, he added, "Besides, I already ordered those new Jordans with the money you send every month. You wouldn't cut us off over something silly, right?" The room fell into an awkward silence. My mom froze, Lisa stiffened, and my dad cleared his throat, focusing on his plate. Mark grinned as if nothing was wrong. I laid my napkin down, folded my hands, and smiled. "Wouldn't I?" I asked. Mark's grin wavered, probably waiting for me to say I was just joking. But I wasn't. The room remained heavy with silence as the reality sank in. My mom opened her mouth, then closed it, and Lisa squirmed in her seat. Even my dad, who usually stayed out of it, looked at me with an expression I couldn't quite figure out. Mark scoffed again, trying to play it cool. "Oh, come on, you're not serious." I tilted my head, watching him squirm. "You really think I'll keep sending you money after all this?" I asked slowly. Lisa let out a nervous laugh. "Rachel, you're being silly. Mark didn't mean it like that." "Oh?" I leaned in slightly. "Then how did he mean it?" Mark sighed dramatically, tossing his napkin on the table. "Geez, you're so sensitive. We're sorry, okay? We just forgot." I nodded. "Right, just a little mistake." My mom jumped in with her sweet tone. "Rachel, honey, we love you. Let's not let a little misunderstanding ruin everything." She reached over, placing her hand over mine, her face filled with that motherly concern she always wore when dismissing my feelings. That look she'd used so many times to brush off the obvious favoritism, acting like I imagined it all. Then it hit me, they weren't sorry for what they did, just sorry I was finally calling them out on it. I pulled my hand away. "I used to wonder if this conversation would be different if I wasn't sending money every month," I said. My dad cleared his throat. "Rachel," I held up a hand. "No, really. Would you all even try smoothing this over if I wasn't your personal bank account?" No one answered. Lisa had the nerve to look offended. "That's not fair. We care about you." I chuckled softly. "You care about what I can do for you." Mark just rolled his eyes again. "Here we go. We probably didn't invite you to avoid this drama." I raised an eyebrow. "Then you won't have to deal with it anymore." The vibe in the room shifted. My mom looked uneasy, my dad pretended to focus on his meal, but I saw his grip on the fork tighten. Lisa pressed her lips into a thin line. As for Mark, he laughed. "You're too nice to really cut us off." I smiled and said, "I guess you'll find out." Mark's confidence visibly shook. I stood, smoothing my dress, grabbed my purse, while they watched as if I was about to drop a bomb. "Rachel," my mom tried, her voice desperate. "Don't be rash. We're family." I looked her in the eye, unfazed. "You all turned your backs on me a long time ago." With that, I headed to the door. Lisa jumped up. "Wait, you're not really serious, right? You're not actually cutting us off?" I opened the front door, letting the cold air replace the suffocating atmosphere in the room. Over my shoulder, I said with a calm voice that left no room for doubt as I walked out. Hey, enjoy the shoes, Mark, I said as I walked out, shutting the door behind me. I barely got to my car when my phone started buzzing. It was Mom. Ignored. Then Lisa. Ignored. And, surprise, Mark. I chuckled and shook my head as I slid into the driver's seat. Wow, that didn't take long. I wasn't even out of the driveway when the first text landed. Okay, very funny. You've made your point. Can you send the money now? I rolled my eyes and turned my phone to silent. The drive was the first peaceful one I'd had in years. I felt this weird sense of freedom. No more playing the nice one, the one who always forgives, gives, and puts up with their nonsense. I was over it. But them? They were just getting started. By the time I got home, my phone had blown up with messages. Lisa was like, Rachel, don't be dramatic. Family is family. Mom chimed in with, you don't mean this. We raised you better. Dad, usually short and sweet, just said, call your mother. And then there was Mark, with way too many messages for someone who supposedly didn't care. First, he was all sarcastic, you're really cutting us off over this? Unreal. Then poking, what are you gonna do, spend all your money on candles and fancy pillows? Come on. A final jab, fine, be petty, whatever. Then his tone shifted. Hey, okay, listen, I kind of need that money, like soon. I smirked. Here we go. I ordered some stuff, expected you to send it this month. Oh, now he admits it. It's not just the shoes. I also got a new TV, PS5, and a laptop. But I had it all planned out. Your transfer was supposed to come today, Rach, come on. I took a slow sip of my tea, scrolling through more. You're seriously not answering? This isn't funny. They're gonna charge my card tomorrow, Rachel. I don't have the money to cover it. Do you want me to go into debt? Almost choked on my tea. Oh, this was gold. Mark wasn't just inconvenienced, he was in real trouble. He was always so sure I'd come through and bail him out. Now he was desperate. A call from Mark came through, but I let it ring, then another, and another. Then a message, short and sweet, pick up the phone. I sat back, a grin spreading on my face. Finally, I was in control. They thought I'd just roll over, that they could gaslight me into thinking I was the unreasonable one. But they forgot one key thing, I was done being the family ATM. Mark was about to find out exactly what that meant. I put my phone down and stretched out on the couch, feeling more relaxed than I had in years. Let them squirm, let them panic. I wasn't their safety net anymore, and they were about to feel it. Mark had always been careless with money, but this was next level. He'd maxed out his card on a bunch of stuff, thinking I'd foot the bill like usual. But now, reality hit him hard. I put my phone on silent and turned on the TV, ready to enjoy my evening. But before I could even pick something to watch, more calls from Mark buzzed in. Ignored. Then a message from Mom, Rachel, call your brother now. I scoffed. Funny how she only seemed to care now. Another one, this is serious, he's in trouble. You need to help him. I took my time finishing my drink before even considering a reply. Then Lisa messaged, okay, look, I get that you're mad, but you've made your point. Can you just send the money now? He's freaking out. I grinned. They were starting to crack. Then Mark again, Rachel, if you don't send the money tonight, I'll be in trouble. Do you get that? I can't pay for this. Oh, I got it all right. I let another 15 minutes pass. The messages kept coming. Then one that really made me laugh, Rachel, please. There was the desperation. I let that sit unanswered for another 10 minutes before finally calling Mark. He picked up on the first ring. Finally, Rachel, what the hell? You've been ignoring me all night. I leaned back on the couch. Oh, I saw your messages. I was just busy. Busy? Busy doing what? Relaxing. He made a frustrated sound. Rachel, you don't get it. I know, Mark. You don't get it. My voice was calm but firm. You assumed I'd keep bailing you out. You didn't even ask. You just spent money you didn't have, thinking I'd cover it again. Silence on the other end. Then he scoffed. Oh, come on, you're mad over some dumb reunion? It was a mistake. We forgot to tell you, big deal. But you're punishing me for it? That's crazy. I shook my head. No, Mark, this isn't about the reunion. It's about being done with the lies and being used like a walking wallet. His voice rose, used? Oh my God, Rachel, you're so dramatic. We're family. You have money, it's not like it's a big deal for you. There it was, the entitlement. I laughed. Well, you really don't see it, do you? See what? That you're being unreasonable? No, that I don't owe you anything. I was helping because I wanted to. But now, I just don't. Are you kidding me? He gasped. Rachel, you can't do this. I've already spent the money. I can't just take everything back. Not my issue, I replied coolly. You don't get it, he snapped. They're gonna hit my card at midnight. If I don't have the cash, my account's gonna overdraft. You're just gonna let that happen? I stayed silent for a moment, letting him stew in his panic. Then I calmly said, yep, I am. He let out a strangled laugh, like he couldn't believe it. Rachel, come on, just this one last time. Just send it, and I swear I'll never ask again. I sighed. That's what you said last time, and the time before that, and the time before that. This is different. No, it's not. It's the same story, you made a reckless choice, expecting me to clean up the mess. But I'm not doing that anymore. Rachel, he practically begged, his voice cracking a little, please. I almost felt bad for him, almost. But then I remembered the countless times I'd been laughed off or ignored, treated like the outsider in my own family. So I held my ground. You'll figure it out, I said. Good luck. Then I hung up. Within seconds, my phone started buzzing again. I ignored it. Then comes a message from Lisa. What did you just say to him? He's freaking out. I didn't reply. Next, a message from Mom. Rachel, you're being cruel. Help your brother. Nope, not gonna happen. And finally, another from Mark. You're gonna regret this. I chuckled, turned off my phone, and went to bed. Let him worry for once. It felt good not to lose sleep over their drama. The next morning, I woke up to tons of missed calls and messages. Mark, Lisa, Mom, all trying to get me to give in. But I'd already decided. I wasn't backing down. I took my time getting up, made a nice breakfast, and scrolled through my phone over coffee. Most messages were the same old guilt trips and demands, but then I saw something new. Rachel, I swear, if you don't send the money, I'll come to your house myself. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, threats now? Then another message from Mom. Mark is on his way over. Please talk to him. I sighed. So that's how they wanted to play it? Fine, let's play. About an hour later, just as I was wrapping up some work, the doorbell rang. I already knew who it was. Opening the door, I found Mark looking like a total wreck, messy hair, wrinkled shirt, dark circles under his eyes. He hadn't slept a wink. Rachel, he said, trying to keep it together, we need to talk. I crossed my arms and leaned against the doorframe. Talk about what? I thought I was pretty clear last night. His jaw tightened. Look, I messed up. But I need you to help me out this one time. One time? I tilted my head. You mean like last time, and the time before that? He balled his hands into fists. Come on, you have the money. It wouldn't even hurt you. I laughed. That's the problem, Mark. You think my money is your safety net, something you're entitled to. But it's not. He sighed in frustration, running a hand through his hair. Rachel, I don't have time for this. The charges hit my account today. I stared at him. Mark, I just want you to take responsibility for once in your life. His face twisted with anger. This is because of the reunion, isn't it? You're being petty over a stupid party. I laughed again. Oh, trust me, Mark, this is about way more than that. He was almost shaking now, barely holding it together. So you're really not gonna help me? Nope. His fists clenched again, and he practically spat out, you're just a selfish brat. You think you're better than us because you have money. Newsflash, Rachel, you're not. You'll always be the pathetic little sister who had to buy her way into respect. And when you finally lose all that money, don't come crawling back to us, because we won't care. I didn't even flinch. I just smiled. Good to know, Mark. Now get off my property. He stood there, glaring at me, waiting for me to cave. But I didn't. After a few tense seconds, he let out a bitter laugh and stormed off, muttering under his breath as he got into his car. My phone buzzed again, a message from Mom. Rachel, what did you do? Mark is furious. I shook my head and shut the door, sending a final text to my family. I'm done. Don't ever ask me for money again. It felt final as I hit send, turned off my phone, and went on with my day. For the first time in a long while, I felt at peace. The next few days were quiet. My family didn't reach out, like they'd finally accepted I wasn't their ATM anymore. A relief, but also a bit strange. A week passed, then another, and I didn't even think about them much. I focused on work, my life, and doing things for myself. Then, one night, a message from Mark popped up. I messed up. I don't know what to do. Please, Rachel, help me. I stared at it for a moment, feeling no urgency, no anger, not even frustration. I'd moved on. So I deleted the message without replying and went about my next day, completely unbothered. For the first time in my life, I was living for me, no guilt, no expectations, just me. And that's exactly how I wanted it to stay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.